Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. On today's show, we're talking about overshoot. Overshoot is a phenomenon that exists in all kinds of systems. Overshoot exists in physics, it exists in individual behavior, and overshoot, therefore, exists in markets. So exactly what is this overshoot that we're talking about? Imagine if you were driving down the highway at high speed and the sign for your turnoff was only visible after your exit. Most people would miss the exit. That's why there's plenty of signs leading up to your exit telling you to prepare to get off the highway. Then designers of the highway added a special slowdown lane to help you slow down for your exit so that your exit is nice and orderly. If there were no signs, then the exit would be chaotic. People would slam on the brakes. They would try and back up into oncoming traffic to get off the highway. Or, if they get off at the next exit, they've clearly got some ground to make up. They overshot the exit. Overshoot happens because of momentum and because signs appear too late in the process. So what does this have to do with real estate? Overshoot can happen in real estate markets as well. There's a shortage of supply in the market, so builders construct lots of new houses. They continue to sell well, and builders keep building and building and building. And by the time the signs start to appear that the market is oversupplied, well, the market is already oversupplied. The greater the lag time between the decision to start construction and the market data appearing, the greater the amount of overshoot. Imagine if you were driving down the highway and the sign that you missed your exit was 10 minutes after your exit. How about if the sign for your exit appeared 20 minutes after your exit? Now you need to double back another 20 minutes and you've wasted a total of 40 minutes. You hope that on the way back you don't overshoot the exit a second time because that's certainly possible. I'm engaging regularly with real estate investors who are asking about whether to invest in vacation properties for the purpose of creating a short-term rental product. The problem is that, in my opinion, the peak of the market for these products has passed. The signs have not shown up yet, and those who are continuing to invest in these products are going to overshoot the market. They're going to be investing into falling demand, not rising demand. See, once this pandemic's over, we will experience people returning to leisure travel with a vengeance. There's a lot of pent-up demand for travel, and those destinations that were planned and canceled will see a huge uptick in traffic. We'll see people flying to Rome, Athens, Paris, Bali, all of these places that were out of reach during the pandemic. The cottage on the lake within an hour's drive of the city is still a great destination, but demand will drop in favor of those other locations. And when demand drops, occupancy drops, and so too does the nightly rate. Those vacation properties will experience a significant drop in occupancy, but an even higher drop in revenue. If they try to get higher occupancy by dropping price, you might get the occupancy, but it'll be at the expense of a lower nightly rate. In those deteriorating market conditions, investors still take a long time to recognize that the change has happened. They try and rationalize the situation as being a temporary but unexplained softness in the market. So now we know what overshoot is. Well, there's another related phenomenon, and this one is called undershoot. Undershoot happens when people are waiting to see favorable conditions. They wait and wait and wait. Only once the favorable conditions are fully apparent do they choose to pull the trigger and invest. But the same problem exists. There's a delay from the time of investment to the time of the finished product appearing in the marketplace. We saw undershoot in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. Lending was so constrained in the wake of 2008 that it took a long time for some investors to enter the market. This happened even though the signs were clearly there that the best market prices for buyers were possible. Many people waited until 2014, 2015, and beyond to jump into the market. Some first-time buyers have lamented that they missed the opportunities in the past decade and they might never be able to afford to buy. They waited and waited and waited until the signs disappeared completely. And that's called undershoot. While momentum is a property that exists in the physical world, it can also be used as a metaphor for human behavior in this regard. Some investors who are in motion tend to stay in motion on the same trajectory long after market conditions are no longer favorable. Unless they're paying very close attention, they can overshoot the market. Some investors who spend too much time on the sidelines are those who can undershoot by failing to respond. Whether it's an overshoot or an undershoot, the key to staying out of trouble is to maintain solid visibility of what's happening in the market and to develop agility and execution so your lag time between making a decision and completing a project is as short as it can be. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.